Oh, yeah, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. You've got the best podcast in the 815. This is Beyond the Cube. I am Bob. Along with me, always is Vince. Vince, how's it going, buddy?
It is going pretty good. Yeah, just recovering from this week and getting ready for this upcoming week here. It's gonna be
Nice.
kind of crazy. So, how about yourself?
Man, dude, nothing new to report. It is a hot mess in the 815. Dude, it's flooding everywhere. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
like right now it's like 30 something degrees outside. It is lightning outside as well too. There's a little bit of ice and stuff at the same time. It's gonna snow, probably tornadoes. I mean, earthquakes,
yeah.
tsunamis, all of it, dude. It's ridiculous, man. Yeah. Outside of the weather, not a whole lot really over here on this end. I've kind of
No,
been
I'm really
dragging
happy that.
on.
I was gonna say I'm really happy that we were kind of, I don't know, whatever was it, north or south of the freezing weather. So we got the rain instead of the freezing rain.
Dude.
And yeah, like this was the first time that it flooded like crazy over by us here, where the water actually didn't just cover where the driveway was. It actually like reached kind of into the garage a little, which I was like, okay, I was like, that's a little excessive. So, so there's that.
Well, luckily for us, we didn't have any sort of water damage or anything like that. Like it literally feels though like we're in a moat, like we're just totally surrounded. Like we've got like seems like there's different lean-ins in front of the house in certain areas and stuff. And um, we're lucky, we're fortunate enough that it's not like some of our other friends that I heard that had a couple of inches or so in their basement. So man, dude, it's
Oh
rough.
wow.
Times are rough, homie.
Yeah, they are. But man, and what was it? Starting really today is when all the moves should have happened, like over in the offices as well. So tomorrow I'll kind of get to scope that out firsthand and see how it really looks. Um, I still kind of feel guilty that we didn't just move the boxes over from where we were, because like I know you had moved across the aisle and I was just moving over the wall, which was
Right, right,
probably like 20 steps, and I'm like, I can just pick this box up and bring it over there
right.
and then totally ensure that it's gonna be there. But I was kind of worried about like it's like that might confuse the movers a little, and then like my stuff might be moved to wherever that other person, like the person next to me, where they were moved to. So I have to
Right,
kind of track down all that stuff. So
right. Yeah.
I was like,
So,
I'm not even
yeah,
gonna do that.
new guy Simon. He's only been with us, for a couple of weeks and stuff, and so he was like, hey, so literally, I only have like a coffee mug and a couple of pens, so like, is it cool if I just go ahead and move my stuff over there? And I was like, man, like, I mean, part of me, I mean, like, to me, I feel like the obvious answer is like, of course, like, I mean, it's
Yeah,
literally, it's going to take you like 30 seconds just to get over there and just drop this mug. But at the same time, just due to the whole process and the overall, like, moving of everything, like, yeah, like our move is a little bit easier and stuff. And it may be just literally like, a kick to a box to move it over to the other side. Cause literally, like, that's what all you'd have to do with my box. But,
yep,
um I and I feel bad for leaving it there, dude, seriously, like, because seriously, like, it's there, it would literally take me like two steps to put my box where it needed to be, but you
yep,
don't want to confuse the process. And like, has these people are seeing, well, all these other boxes are written where they're supposed to be, but these handful of boxes have the desk number of where they're currently at, so are they correct or are they not? Like it's so crazy to overthink that process, and yet like it's so easy for me to just move this box literally two steps over to where it's going, but like I'm not gonna do it.
yep. No, I know, and man, I'm still kind of feeling guilty that my whiteboard is gonna have like marks from previously, because little scores that we have like up on my board is kind of going to be burned in there a little. Because usually, like the markers I've been using, and like just I don't know, even having it up for like a week, like is excessive to the point where it's like you start marking it off and it's like ghosted on there. It's like, well, it's like I guess I
Yep.
don't even know some of the hashtags that are like kind of like burned in there very faintly. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, but
I've had a few pieces of stuff on my whiteboard for months, and it kind of sort of sucked to have to wipe it all off. And and the reason behind some of those things being up there, like, is totally just like whatever. Um, but at the same time, though, like, man, like, I had that one piece up in the corner that said December night or January. No, even the wrong month. October 19th, 2018 was the best day of 2017 or something like that.
yep,
That day, that day will forever, ever, ever, ever go down in the history of amazing Fridays at work. Let me just tell you. So, if you are listening to the podcast and and if you work with me and Vince, so you probably know about this day, but you may not necessarily know the people behind this particular day. Um, I'll go ahead and fess up and say it was me. Um, so so a little bit of a backstory here. So at our office where we work at, every day has its own specific day for music and the type of music that they're going to play. So like Monday could be like sort of like throwbacks to like it's like classic vinyl, and basically we play off of Sirius XM. So Monday is typically like a classic like vinyl day or like a retro whatever it is, and sometimes it's like new current hits or whatever. Um, Based off of what happens on Monday, usually Tuesday is kind of like hipster day. Sometimes it's like 90s throwback R&B stuff. Back in the day, Tuesday used to kind of be the day when you would walk in and hear like nothing but a G thing when you're coming into work at 8 o'clock, and that was
yep,
like that was like so gangster. I really wish we'd bring that back. I understand why it may not necessarily be as prominent as it
yeah,
used to be, but I tell you what, that was like the dude. I haven't cussed on the podcast, and I'm not going to. But literally, that was the stuff when you would walk
yep,
in to work, and the first song that you hear as you're walking in is nothing but a G thing. I promise it happened to me. I promise on everything that it happened to me. Um, but yeah, so just kind of going back to the days. There is one day that never ever ever budges and has never changed, and for as long as I've worked for the company that I currently that I work for, and that day is Thursday. And if you are listening to the podcast, and you, like I said, if you work with me and Vince, if you are working remotely, like Josiah, like Lindsay, like
mhm,
Christy, and you probably know this because we discuss this, quite often. Thursday is the one and only the magical country music Thursday.
yep,
So, as the story continues, people are very serious about their days, man. You know, they are extremely, like you mess with the music days, dude. Like it's over. Like
yep,
it is like it's almost like an unspoken kind of sort of rule that seems like is there. Like every Thursday is country music Thursday. I mean, you kidding me? Like we're listening to country music on it because it's Thursday.
yep,
That's what it is. That is exactly what we're doing. So with that being said, Friday is normally like the like new wave all like 80s music, which is super. It's cool. It's definitely really cool. Shout out to the help desk, to the IT guys. That's pretty much their day, which is really cool and rad. Every now and then, though, it will seem to kind of get thrown to Alt Nation, though, too, which is obviously appreciated as well, too. However, on this day, on October 19th, 2018, it happened to be like the last day for one of our good friends, and that day. It was just we were going on like his third going away party too, by the way. And so that
Yeah.
day, I'm like, you know what, we're gonna mix things up here. I submitted a request, and on Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, I don't know how I did it. I don't know how it happened, but I was able to get country music played on Friday. Oh my
Oh man, yeah.
god! Country music played from 3 o'clock until 5 o'clock, and the influx of emails that came in that that was not happy that everybody was like, "Why is country like?" I think I still have some of these saved. I'm gonna have to like maybe try to snip it or something. I don't know, and maybe do a blog about it because legit like the emails that were coming in on this day,
Oh my god,
um,
yeah.
dude,
Those
we're
were
at.
those were
Uh,
classic. Like
oh my
being
gosh,
shared with us too. Like
yeah.
there's just such a level of savagery that
Oh
I did not know that some people were, capable of. But that was
man, it
that was quite epic.
dude, it was serious. It was extremely serious. Like it really, it obviously was like, you seen how absolutely how people needed to have that organization and structure in their life. Apparently, like, I mean, why is country music playing on Friday? It is Friday. There should not be any country music played
Yeah.
at all whatsoever. Like this is not right, and it it was bad. And but for me, honestly, it was hilarious because yeah, um, going
The
away.
disruption in
All,
the
all I
in
wanted,
the flow of things.
all I truly wanted was to hear "Go Down to the Honky Tonk" on a Friday. That's all. That's literally all that I wanted. That was it.
Man,
Had
and they didn't
going down to
even
the honky tonk. Gone down to the honky tonk came on, I would have been totally cool and like, all right, let's go back to whatever. That's it. I just need to hear "Going Down to the Honky Tonk" one more time, and we'll be fine. We'll call it a day. That that afternoon too, I tweeted at the highway on Sirius XM, and I gave him the whole sad sob story of, hey, this is our coworker's last day. The only thing that he really truly wants is to hear "Going Down to the Honky Tonk." Please make this happen. And within like about like a minute or two, like it got liked, like they liked it.
yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna happen. Like this literally could be like the most epic like Friday of all time. And so we waited and waited and stuff, and like it didn't come on. And the hate emails are coming in for like, why is country music on Friday? And we even waited, I think, about 15 minutes even after we
Yep,
clocked
we were
out.
there for about
And
like 15 to 20 minutes after like basically saying our goodbyes and kind of drawing it out. Being like, okay,
yep,
anytime now. It's like, come on, just let those first few notes hit and it'll make the day perfect. And just did not happen.
we waited and waited, and it never came through. But however, the fact that like I said, that country music got played on a Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and just completely triggered the whole entire office was amazing in itself right there. I know for a fact that hands down is the best prank that I've have been able to accomplish, in the office. It's gonna take a lot to top that.
Yep.
And so, but also, a side note to that, the funny part about all this is that like now pretty much, most of my emails that go directly to John or AJ is they're pretty just much just like, oh my gosh, like, because literally the only emails that I send them are on Fridays, and I'm asking for them to play the highway on just to irritate them. I don't really want it to come back on. It's been a thing now where I think just about almost every Friday since then, it's like, hey, it's 3 o'clock. How about we throw the highway on? And it's an immediate no. Like, I cracked the joke. I was like, man, like they probably got like some sort of rule set up in Outlook right now that like anytime this dude emails on Friday, like it immediately goes to spam or it immediately goes to like to delete. like because my requests for the highway on Sirius XM are too much, man. Too much.
Well, the best part was that what was it when we sent the request over? the person who normally handles the radio, he was actually not in the office, so it was the other IT guy. And he's like, nope. He's like, if you want me to do this, he was basically like, nope. He's like, I'm not doing this. I was like, he's like, if you're gonna have someone do this, it's gotta be the new person in HR. So it's like, all right, let's email her. So I think both of us emailed her too, and
Yep.
she's like, I don't know how to work the radio. It's like, oh, it's okay. We'll find out what the station is and everything for you. And then she's like, I know that she was in there, like, had emailed back after it came on. And she's like, yeah, apparently when I was trying to change the station, I broke it too. I was like, this is just too amazing. It's like too good.
Oh
But
man,
now that's forever burned on your whiteboard there.
that's
So
true. That's true.
your new
So
your new resident
yeah,
gets to kind of keep that forever. So,
yep, yep. That
but
the greatest the greatest day of 2017 was October 19th, 2018. That that has been on my board since that day. I
oh man,
just erased it off on Friday. It was a little bit rough, but it is what it is. We start all over again on Monday, which is cool
yep,
because I actually am inheriting your old desk. So your desk will be, well taken care of. And you're not going very far either, too. So, you
that's
know,
true. Yep. No, I'm just heading over the wall,
yep,
becoming one of the wildlings. No more
that's
parts of the
right.
Night's Watch. So
That's right. That's right. I'll
I
be
know.
sitting overlooking the wall on, I'm definitely a crow now for sure. So,
I know,
so,
man.
I guess, let me touch on this too, Vince. So kind of sort of discussing moving in Game of Thrones and the wall and stuff. Do sort of have an announcement. Would like to kind of address really quick. So things can get really exciting for Beyond the Cube podcast. Had a really interesting meeting, and yeah, I don't think we're ready to really truly announce anything just yet. However, stay tuned because I'm pretty sure whether it's going to be this week. I'm assuming for sure next week. We should have some really exciting news. So definitely stay tuned to the podcasts and definitely follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Um,
Yep.
do the whole Instagram thing. Vince does an amazing job with
Oh
that.
man. Follow us through
And
Spotify, through
that's
YouTube,
right.
through basically anywhere that, yeah, anywhere that you can access any kind of like social media channel. Like, I don't think I've set
That's
up
right.
a TikTok for us or anything, or I don't know what else there is out there anymore. So we don't have a
But do we
Snapchat, I
have the?
don't think.
I
So
was gonna say, well, we don't have Snapchat. We don't have MySpace. Should we look into the whole MySpace? I'm
oh
thinking
man,
about
revive the whole MySpace.
bring it
Man,
back.
I can do it. Oh, did you? Okay, speaking of MySpace, right? Did you see the there was something for like a website for Captain, what was it, like Captain Marvel, I think it was. And this looked like it was straight out of a GeoCities MySpace kind of looking page.
No way.
Like, yeah, like really the only thing it was missing was basically like the MIDI music that was kind of playing in the
Oh man.
background there. But
Oh yeah.
otherwise it had like the starry like background that went through the full page, and then the banners, which were definitely not set into. If you when you think of like '90s web design, or like, well, I
Yeah.
guess not '90s, but yeah, like, yeah, the '90s 2000 web design, like GeoCities. It's like, oh, anyone can make a website. It's like, here you go. That's exactly what it looked like, and it was it was awful and glorious at the same time, because it's like one of those things where it's like it really took me back to the days, where it's like you go to sites and you're like, who put this together? Because this is awful. But but no, they definitely did a throwback to, and I think that's what it was, is because I guess the time that the movie's supposed to take place in, like it's almost like Captain Marvel's, like, what was it, like origin story.
hmm
And in this one, man, now I can't even think of his name. But the Samuel L. Jackson, who plays, was it Nick Fury?
Yeah.
Uh, this is before he had lost his eye. So he's actually playing like a
Ah,
young Nick Fury with no eye patch.
okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, it was interesting. That was definitely not something that well, unless we do go into the MySpace business again here. Like if we look into that, definitely something that we should try and kind of emulate. But otherwise, I think we'll stick with the modern look that we have going.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely I kind of biased, but a huge fan of the Beyond the Cube podcast.com website. Definitely friendly on the phones,
Hmm.
pretty sweet on the desktop. It looks good. So if you haven't checked it out yet, definitely go there. It's funny because me and Vince also help out with the Ivy Boys and take care of some stuff for them. And I can remember like thinking like, man, like, how come Chipper hasn't been posting a whole lot of stuff, like
Hmm.
we had a couple of blogs and stuff, and even we got to the point where he was actually doing vlogs, the video blogs and stuff, and content was coming in, and like, dude, like, so when 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 we were discussing beyond the cube podcast.com, like I was like, okay, so I think it's a cool idea if we both had like blog areas set up, and we'll just go up there. And the plan originally was like to get and post a blog like at least like twice a week, and just to have steady content coming in. And like, it's so funny to me that like it's just hard. Like, it's not
Hmm.
easy. It's definitely not easy. I struggle with it, man. Like, I am definitely not the writer. So when I go, I mean, I'll start writing, and then I'll stop, and I'll delete everything off, and then try to reword something, and then start. And then I believe I actually have one saved, probably from about a week. That's probably, I know that it's up there still. Um, I just can't complete it, and like, I don't really know what to do. So um, that's kind of where I sort of think, like, to add some content. For me personally, I definitely um, I feel like I'm motivated by music a lot and just imagery. So
Yep.
instead of getting actual, like, like a written blog from me, you may actually get a playlist of what's kind of inspiring me at the moment. Or like, it seems like, different weeks and stuff, if I'm lucky enough, or if I'm fortunate enough, or if I just personally just want to, I'll go out and I'll design something or whatever. And so maybe instead of getting, once again, like vlogs, you may get like some images of like what I'm currently working on, some kind of current projects and things and whatnot. So I am, promising that I will do better. That doesn't mean that something's going to go up tonight. It doesn't mean that something's going to go up tomorrow. I will definitely try to do better, and try to get some more content up there. However, bro, I'm happy with the whole process that we got going on right now with these podcasts, dude. Like,
Oh yeah.
we're kind of cranking them out, homie.
Now that I mean, really, now that we've started recording, like, it is kind of funny because it's like the writing for the website really took kind of like a backseat, but I'm still doing writing on the side, like just my own stories and everything, and going forward with the whole Amazon stuff. I mean, right now I'm still in the process of writing though, but at least when I start getting to the point where it's getting close to publish, um, like I said, like even that's something that really actually part of the like exciting news, is that I'll actually be able to share more of the short stories that I've written and everything, like through the channels that we're looking at. So I'm really excited about that. I think that's going to be fun to do, and I have such the backlog of stories. Like every, like yeah, I'm part of that writing group that meets like like basically like every other Tuesday, and one of them is like a creative one. So I'm always creating some kind of short story or some kind of like intro or some kind of like something that can typically kind of be built off of like in each one of those meetings, like when we do writing prompts. So yeah, like those are definitely going to be up there, and then just the stuff that kind of yeah, that I just kind of like think up or like am inspired to write. Like there's even those couple of stories that I had sent over to you, which were more like kid story stuff. That
Hmm.
I was like, this would actually be kind of cool to have like drawn out. Like as like a children's book kind of thing. And research on that really kind of was again put on halt because it's like there's just all there's stuff that's always going on.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like we've definitely gotten into the groove now with the podcast where it's like this can be the content where this is the content that the website was dedicated for. Or like what was the original intention, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm having fun with it though. Like, especially the podcasting. Like I said, like I'm definitely writing on the side and gonna be sharing that more often now too. Uh, yeah, just through the different ways that we're gonna be available.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. And like I said, I don't want to jinx myself, but knock on wood. I am looking forward to a great week next week. Could be great, could be awesome, and could bring a lot of awesome news. It is February 23rd, 2019. You are listening to Beyond the Cube. Dude, so here in the 815, you know, um, there's a coffee shop that's right downtown. And the other day, I was on Facebook and I was kind of just hanging out and seen that they had a post regarding one of their employees, and so I kind of went to go check it out. And I was thinking about it, and I'm not necessarily downtown as much as I used to be. Um, but this coffee shop was a place that I frequented quite a bit. It was really convenient because like I said, I was literally just like a block
Hmm.
away from them. So yeah, so they were talking about a former barista that was there. Um, it was a really cool article, and it's totally true. How about that? So I feel like that totally fits into what one of our favorite things to do is read you guys totally true articles. Um, so yeah, so this article is regarding a former barista that was here locally in the 815. She since has relocated to Chicago, and she is a student in Chicago. The whole article is that basically she is pretty much looking and wears just nothing but vintage clothing, and it's caught the attention of a lot of people apparently. So she says that she is dedicated to the 30s and the 40s. She's fascinated by them, and thinks that there was a real sense of community during World War II, and once again is completely enthralled by the fashion. It's more so just the fashion kind of thing and the look as compared to the political views and stuff, because actually that is currently what she is going to school for. Um, she says that she's often mistaken for an actress because it looks like the stuff that she wears is time warpish. So a lot of people just assume that she is, filming either something for TV or movie within this particular time frame. But it's just truly just the fascination of that particular style is what she likes. And yeah, a lot of people really truly think that she is an actress because the outfits are just so authentic. She what she purchases are the actual real legit thing. It's not necessarily like a an imitation or a mock-up. She her and her mother really go out of their way to really look for different type of clothing. She says that typically she spends between like anywhere around $10 for a blouse, or up to $90 for a particular dress. And the money is coming from her part-time job, and she even, like I said, gets items and stuff from her mother. So thought it was pretty cool, man, that somebody local here to this area is staying true to who they are, what they want to do and stuff. And
Hmm.
you know that particular style, because it even goes on. This article talks about, like, even like her music choices and stuff, which also once again lends very heavy towards the 30s and 40s. So that typically means that she's listening to more like jazz and like big band stuff, which is really super cool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's neat, and apparently it looks like on her Instagram that she likes to have like these like vintage like kind of throwback barbecues and stuff too, and a lot of her friends actually kind of partake in that particular style of clothing and stuff too. So I think that that's really cool, man. Like if you find something that you're into, and it may not necessarily be the norm, for compared to what other people think and stuff, but to be that loyal and dedicated to that, and I think that that speaks volumes of somebody, and yeah, I think that is extremely cool.
No, for sure, and dedication really is the word too. Like, because even like kind of scrolling through the story and like seeing like the pictures,
Hmm.
like that is some dedication right there. And no, it's really cool that man, I think that's really cool that they would kind of like someone would, yeah, kind of like go like really that far to kind of like follow, their passion. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, of course, when I think of people who are like passionate, like stuff like this, I'm also thinking like people who are wearing like band shirts every day with like the sleeves ripped off. But this is definitely higher. This is definitely a little classier, and no, it's like no, it's actually really cool. Like I'm like yeah, looking through it, like you almost can't even tell that it is modern day. Like that
Yeah,
these pictures were taken, within like a year. It's like everything looks like it could have been. It could have been something that was taken in the 30s and 40s and then just enhanced to the point where
exactly,
like it was like super clear and crisp. So no,
exactly.
yeah, it is super cool though. I mean, and again, it's like I definitely appreciate like how yeah, just the dedication on it, and just like how yeah, how the looks are. It's really cool.
We probably ought to try to link that up some way somehow, just so that way listeners and stuff, if you want to check this out, we'll look into either putting it up on Facebook or attach it onto the description of the podcast some way somehow. But yeah,
Yep.
former barista here locally in the A15. Good for her. That is truly amazing.
No, for sure. And no, it is really cool. And there's honestly no way to transition that story of like how like like the vintage look and just how like dedicated. Well, I guess the dedication could be it too, though, man. That could be the link here because the next one that we got here, courtesy of CBS 46, was son sets mother's house ablaze allegedly over Cheez-Its. And yeah, this is kind of uh, a man had to rescue his mother from the second floor during a fire at a DeKalb County home that allegedly began over a box of Cheez-Its. And it was saying that the two brothers and their 61-year-old mother were at the home when an argument began over a box of Cheez-It snack crackers. That's one. That's when one of the brothers, who police say was intoxicated, locked his brother and mother inside the house and began pouring gasoline on the front steps. Then lit the home on fire, trapping the two inside. The brother was
Like,
able to lift his the brother was able to lift his mother down from the second-story window and then get himself out safely.
mm.
Is saying that yeah, the one who started the fire was taken into custody, aged 32. So
Hey.
that's I know, man.
Wow,
I mean, and
dude.
I know this is one I had to bring up because it's like I know how like you are with Cheez-Its,
Dude,
It's like I'm
absolutely.
starting to gain that love as well because
Hmm.
like sometimes during the day it's like when you just need that salty snack, It's like you just
Man.
open it up, pour some out into like one of the mugs that we like 100 mugs that we got, and yeah,
It's frustrating sometimes because like I try to be really good with Cheez-Its, and it's one of those things where whenever I'm going into the cafeteria, I can't help but to look because, and it's okay to look because to me it seems like the bag that I go for, I usually go for the original. We have some up there that are like, I think it's now like there's like caramel corn and like regular
Oh,
Cheez-Its or like a different kind, like a Monterey Jack or something. No, I'm not
yeah.
playing with that.
Nope.
That's every,
Nope.
you guys can have that all day. I'm looking for the originals, man. And like typically like they're not there, and like every now and then like when I'm walking past and like I see them, like it's one of those things like where I gotta pick it up. Like I mean, it's just like it I can't explain it, man. I just love Cheez-Its, and I don't think like it did say that the 32-year-old man was intoxicated, right? I believe that's what the story
Yes.
said.
Yep.
So like
Hmm.
I tend to, if we're close, if we're friends, I'm always down to share. If I got it, you got it too.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
I don't know. Like these must have been some fire Cheez-Its. Like these must have been like the elusive rare Cheez-Its. Like I'm almost wondering if it was like what if like they took like every kind of Cheez-It there is and like put it in a box and had like the ultra like mixed
Oh man.
bag of Cheez-Its or something, because like I do love the originals. The toasty. I don't know if you've tried the toasty ones yet. Those ones are really
Hmm.
good. And the hot and spicy. Like I mean, you can't go wrong, dude. Hot and spicy.
Oh yeah. No,
Um,
those are yep.
and, those
On the
those definitely are
list.
my top three. My top three for sure. But like, dude, I don't feel like those are like at the point where you're messing with my cheeses, bro. Like I wouldn't lock you, Meredith, and in the fam in the house, and pour gasoline, on your front step. Like I don't feel like it would ever get that bad. That's whew,
No.
boy.
Well, I mean, so you said that you don't you don't do good with Cheez-Its, but you haven't lit any houses on fire over Cheez-Its. So I think you are doing pretty good. Like I don't
Yeah.
think that's I don't think that should be a concern. So but no, I mean, like I said, I've noticed like even recently, like when we like when I do ask, it's like man, I'm like sitting there, I'm like man, I'm kind of hungry. You're like, well, I still got some Cheez-Its here. Like I know that yeah, I mean anytime I take it's like it's definitely not like a full bag, but it's also not an empty bag.
Yeah.
Like you're starting to portion it out much better. So
Yeah. Yeah,
where
dude.
I know I was the same way though, because it's like I know it's like if I had like a full bag, it's like I would have just at least before this whole Biggest Loser thing, I would have just pounded the full bag. But now it's like I sit there and think it's like all right, it's like I'm just gonna have one of these like cheese and cracker things and then save the rest for later. It's like, and typically it's like a one a day kind of thing. So I don't know. I'm still kind of nervous about this upcoming weigh-in on Monday though. So we'll see how that's gonna
Man.
go.
I'm gonna have to behave, I think, tomorrow because it. So okay, so we haven't really updated the listeners very much on our department's Biggest Loser thing. So after the first weigh-in, Vincent, I believe you were down, correct?
So the first one I was actually up by like zero point 0.4.
What?
The
I don't
second
remember
one
that.
though, the second one I was down 3 pounds. So
There you go.
so
There
I'm
you go.
fluctuating quite a bit there.
Gotcha. So, and as for me, first weigh-in, I was exactly the same. Like, no change, which was honestly it was amazing. I don't know how that happened.
Oh God!
The
After that
second,
Friday, Saturday too, man, I was like, what? I was like, how?
yeah, yeah, no, and so that's when I was like, dude, so muscle obviously weighs more than fat. That's what it is. You're just gaining muscle. Um, but yeah, so with that being said, I definitely gained some muscle the second weigh-in because I was over. Um, I I don't remember what it translated into the percentage, but I could
Hmm.
tell you, I have no shame. I gained 2.5 pounds basically, and so so at the beginning of last week, or after the weigh-in, I was just like, oh man, like I had that little bit of shame for a little bit, where I was just like,
Hmm.
Yeah, I definitely need to put a little bit more effort into it. You know, I don't want to. I don't want to come back next week and weigh in and be up again. You know, that's the last thing that I want. So, um, so I was good probably for about maybe a half hour, and then I
Yep.
think somebody may have had some donuts or somebody had something, and oh, the candy bars also too. You know, we
Oh
had a
God,
friend
that's right
that
that
was
day.
whose child is selling candy bars, so it's it's going for a good cause, bro. I mean, you got to always support the kids, dude. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
So
true. Yeah.
you can't you can't tell them no, and and come home with an empty envelope, bro. Like that's not good. You know, we
And
got to
when those
support our
Cheez-Its are in
kids.
stock too, man. Like when those
You can't
Cheez-Its are
say
in
no.
stock, it's you gotta.
I'm telling
So
you, you got to get them when they are there, bro. Because it seems like they're not there more than they are there. So you gotta get them when the picking's good, basically.
it's like the Code Reds and the Cherry Pepsis too, man.
Yeah.
Like there are certain items that just fly off the shelves, and it's like I don't know if it's the company that's like restocking is trying to push other things, you know,
Ooh.
or if they just can't keep stock of it because it's like so everyone's running out, you know. So
It's 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 funner to play the conspiracy card. So let's just say it's a
I
conspiracy, man.
I like that one too. Yeah,
Yep,
it's like
I'm
they're
all
trying to
for it.
push regular Mountain Dew on us Code Red drinkers.
That's messed up. We're on to you. We're on to you. Don't think we're not paying attention.
I'm buying your Dr Pepper instead of the Cherry Pepsi. There's no way. No, I'm just.
Nope. Oh
Oh
gosh.
man.
So transitioning from Cheez-Its, I don't really know how to transition this article. I came across this because to me this is kind of one of the funniest things that I think that you can see. Once again, I'm kind of juvenile though too. I don't know what it is about dogs pooping, but I find it absolutely hysterical. Like it's like one of the funniest things. I don't know what it is, and like I seem to have like some sort of like magnet to this too. Like you could be driving down the road and just like, hey, that dog in that yard is looking for its spot. It's circling. There it goes, and it's looking at me. And so as funny as I've always thought this is, and sometimes it's a little bit awkward and weird because I've always kind of wondered why it seems like dogs look at you when they poop. And I found this article, and it's definitely true. It's on the internet. Found it
hmm
on Facebook, so it's got to be true. That's why I'm gonna go ahead and share with everybody else. So yeah, so basically, when dogs are defecating, when they're looking you in the eye, it's not because they're embarrassed. And it's not like he's wanting you to look away. Basically, when he's doing his business, he is at his most vulnerable in his environment. So realistically, what he's looking for that reassurance, like, hey, bro, don't worry about it. Handle your business. I got you. Nobody or nothing's gonna mess with you at all whatsoever. Just do your business, handle it, take care of it. You're good. In the same aspect, if you think about it, sometimes your dogs will follow you, or your pets may follow you into the bathroom as well too. So actually, I seen my buddy Sean on Facebook. He's got a service dog, and
Mm.
the service dog is absolutely just, dude. Like, probably like I've been around smart animals before. This dog, Tank the service dog, just like is like I can't even think of the right words. Like, is just truly just like, and what he gives Sean also too, just that security as
hmm
well. Like, oh God, it's just truly just an amazing, beautiful creature. Just intelligent as well. Like, I mean, it's insane all the stuff that this dog does. But yeah, if you have a pet that seems to follow you, and like, even when you're going to the bathroom or if you're taking a shower or whatever, the dog is basically letting you know that, hey, I got your back, bro. I'm worried
Yep.
that you might be vulnerable. I got your back. Don't worry about it. In the same aspect, there are other pets who seem to have the independence of going off on their own, and sort of taking care of their and handling their business, on their own. Those are your definite like leaders, pretty much, because they're independent enough to go ahead and do this on their own. So it's not like you necessarily have to like just completely follow your dogs and stuff. But once again, if your pet is looking at you while they are going, it's not because they're trying to make you mad. If it's one thing if your dog is going in the living room and just staring right at you, or like going on your clothes or something because you went out for the night and forgot to feed it or something like that. Like, yeah, don't be a jerk. Take care of your pet. But if you're letting your dog out and it's going in the backyard and it's looking through the sliding door or something, checking to make sure, it's because hey, he's a part of your pack and he wants to know that you got his back, bro.
Yep, and I'm definitely a victim of that because, like, after like you had showed me the story, I was like sitting there thinking, I'm like, yeah, I was like, my dog will just start doing her thing and just stare at me, and I'm like, really? I'm like, what are you thinking? So
Well, so now we realize that it's not the dogs just being awkward. They just want to be assured that if it goes down, that you are there to go ahead and chip in at the very least.
well, I mean, it's not that they're not being awkward, but at least there's a reason for it. And it's better than the one it's better than the reasons that my son has, because he'll just
Yeah.
like walk into the bathroom and he's like, "Hey, Dad, it's like, do you know that?" And then just spout out like random things, like something that he like might have learned on YouTube or maybe on one of his shows or something. I'm like, well, I was like, now I know. It's like, can you please leave me in peace real quick while I finish? So, like, oh man, or our cat too. Like you can like she'll try and like sneak in to the bathroom where her litter box is, but then when she's done, it's like a mad dash from like the litter box into like the living room. Like, oh, nobody saw me. It's like I'm out. And it's like usually at like, like 2 or 3 in the morning when it's like all you hear is like her like footfalls as she's like mad dashing from like the bathroom over like through our bedroom, down the hallway and into the living room. It's like seriously, cat, you can't just try and like sneak out too. I don't even know.
Oh boy. Oh man. Well, yeah. So that's all that we got for Totally True Stories. Definitely check on our podcast. Like I said, we will work on trying to get some of the links up on the Facebook or on the website. But one of our favorite segments, one of the ones that we get a lot of feedback from. So check back in next time. We'll have some other good stuff for you as well too. So once again, it is February 23rd, 2019. Beyond the Cube podcast. Yeah, man. So this upcoming podcast episode,
Mm-hmm.
I was informed that the great Chipper from the Ivy Boys would like to join us. So he is excited and looking forward to discussing Oak Island. Vince, I feel for you, my dude. You it seems like the guests that have been on recently, outside of Bree, the topics seem to be things that basically you may not be as interested as me in. So
No, dude, I'm totally fine. I am all about reality TV and sports ball. So we, no,
well,
I
this
know
is that.
we've been lining up like really a few people, and it's like kind of like interest all over the place too. I mean, because I know when we were talking about another one who could potentially be someone from like the video gaming scene, like around the area. Like
Mhm.
that's more. I know that one is definitely more in my wheelhouse. Then there was another one that a drummer from a local band that we were talking to also, and like that really covers both of our bases.
Oh yeah.
Like talking with Bree about the yeah, really about like the '80s movies and stuff like that. That's kind of a both of us thing too. So,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
man, I love doing research like this though. Like I'm even though I might not know everything or like might not know a lot about what subject it is, like I kind of just I don't know, really it's all about like asking the right questions, like do a
Yep.
little research and then that way it's like okay, it's like what will lead to discussion and yeah, and it's just basically knowing enough to kind of get answers to go dig deeper into these subjects. So
Literally, dig deeper is a really good term because that is exactly kind of what is going on Oak Island. Um, the last time we discussed Oak Island, I told you I was very displeased with the episode that came on. I don't
hmm
really think that I actually still have fully watched it. Actually, the funny thing about it too was that I did have a brief discussion with Chipper earlier today, and we I that's when I brought it up and asked if if he would like to come on, and he was telling me about his upcoming schedule that he's got. And man, it sounds like the Ivy Boys are going to be busy, which is really great and awesome news. So congratulations on that, you guys. Yeah, so like he's telling me some stuff, and I know that there's some books out, and even on the show. One of the people that they engaged with quite a bit. Unfortunately, she passed away, but she was an author and was a valuable piece of information. And so, she had some books and even some unfinished stuff that she was writing that didn't get published. Um, and so Chipper is so much of a mega fan that he's actually picking up and reading some of these books. So I thought I was really good and was a really big fan. Chipper takes it kind of to another level, and knowing Chipper, it doesn't really surprise me. So Chipper always has amazing insights and opinions. On the Ivy Boys, I don't doubt that this changes a bit with Oak Island because this dude is ready to talk. Like he's been bursting at the seams, literally for like the last 2 weeks, like ready to come on and stuff. So I'm excited. The day that we are going to record that podcast, the current show will have already been on. So this is going to be some immediate, up to date, like current Oak Island discussion that's going to be out there. So
yep,
if you are a fan of Oak Island, obviously that's going to be the podcast for you to definitely check out. So, which every one of ours pretty much is, because we definitely are the best podcast in the 815. So,
truth, yeah, and I mean, really too, it's like again, it's like he covers so many bases the same way like Briz does, Like I know even with the podcasting stuff, like there's that, there's all of I think all of Chicago sports he kind of even covers a little too.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I know he's not a fan of maybe one or two of the teams right now, but you know.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's it's kind of hard to be a fan of one or two of the teams right now. The funny thing is that it truly feels like both teams are actually owned by the same family too. How about that? Man, if
Yeah.
that doesn't speak volumes, boy, geez, I don't know what will. Man,
Yeah, that's I
ah,
find that kind of crazy too. And it's
yeah,
like I don't know. We'll see how those all play out. But
yep,
I
yep,
don't
yep.
know. The sports, the go to.
I was gonna say I know how you are with them sports, and you guys, I really try hard not to discuss a lot of sports. I'm a fan. I don't by any means claim to be a Cubs blogger, or do I claim that Beyond the Cube is secretly a an agenda to get Cubs discussion out there by any means. I am excited, and today was the first day of an actual. Well, today was their first game, basically, of spring training. They did play the Brewers, by the way, Trisha. The score was 8-4, Trisha. Um, but eight was by the Cubs. The 4 was by the Brewers, Trisha. Might send you an email just to make sure that you did catch that game on Saturday, Trisha.
the Well, okay, to kind of show that we're not all sports, I guess. I did watch the movie Tag yesterday, which was actually like on HBO, like on demand, like the HBO Go, and that was the one where it's like inspired by a true story of what was it, like a bunch of 30-year-olds who still, like, was it during the month of, I think it was like May, like they play the game of tag where they'll kind of just, even though they all live, like, in different spots, like across the US and everything, like one or two of them will make like special trips out to go and see one of them just to go and tag him so that he's it. So no, and it was a pretty cool movie. Like, I don't know, there's a what was it? I can't. And of course, it's like I'm awful with like the actors' names, but it's like it had one of the dudes from Mad Men. It had Hawkeye in it. It had was it Ed Helms? That's one I know. And then the guy who plays Nick from New Girl. Like, it was a great cast though. Like, and it was
Nice.
pretty funny. It was definitely enjoyable. It wasn't going to be winning any awards, but it was definitely worth like the like hour and a half that it is. So no, I
Yep,
recommend.
yep, yep.
On the next review, Crazy Rich Asians, maybe. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to be next. I don't know. Like
I,
we kind of make it a point to try and watch a movie on either like a Friday or Saturday night, like after Mike goes to
hmm
sleep. So
hmm
yeah. So I mean, that's just what was on this week.
Decent, decent, decent. Yeah. So, yesterday, the plan originally. Well, really, I didn't have a whole lot of plans yesterday at all. It was going to kind of sort of be more of like an evening off, really. I have a. I'm trying to wrap up a couple of projects, and I'm basically waiting for things to get shipped to me to kind of finish it up. And so that was the original plan for today, even really too. Earlier this morning, and unfortunately, just with the weather and stuff that we've had, and the distance where this package was coming from, I didn't get my items today, which I'm not really stressing too bad. It just would have been nice and convenient to work on them on the weekend, which I really truly like to
Hmm.
do, especially when it comes to doing that particular kind of work. It's sometimes it's very time intensive, and really difficult to try to get done, during a up to 9 hour day typically. So um
Yeah.
so yeah, so yesterday it originally kind of was going to turn into just sort of just kind of a really light, easy day off, and not really getting into a whole lot, and which, I mean, it still kind of ended up happening, but with the upcoming season of Game of Thrones starting in the final season in April,
Hmm.
my wife has a friend who doesn't really do shows, and she's trying to get caught up for this upcoming season, which is not going very well, by the way. Totally not going well, by the way. I don't.
Yeah.
It's definitely not going to happen for sure. As far as like getting the friend caught up, nothing is really retaining. Nothing is.
Mm.
Yeah. It's not really going to happen. So I think really, what turned into being like hanging out and watching a couple of episodes of Game of Thrones, um, turned into like checking to see like the previously on and stuff like that. And I
So
didn't.
yeah.
Something that kind of threw me off that I didn't really realize was like, season three. I didn't remember. Which I gotta tell you, I gotta talk to you about something off the
Yeah.
podcast. Anyways, it was something that you brought up in the book that I thought didn't happen, but I could
Hmm.
have swore that I seen it happen. So we'll discuss off once we stop recording. But
For
I don't
season
remember.
three, I'll have
Yeah,
to I'll have to look into
yeah,
that then.
yeah. So season three, even episode one, I didn't remember Theon getting captured by Ramses that early. It doesn't. To me, it doesn't seem
Oh,
like
okay.
it shouldn't have been about that time. And so, like, when you see Theon, hanging and getting the water thrown on him, I gasped. I was like, oh my! I
Yeah.
wasn't even ready for that, because like they were kind of just skimming through and going through some of the things and not really watching stuff, and like So once we do start watching one, like that's the one part that comes on, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I that seems like that should have been later in season 3. Like I didn't remember it happening that soon, you know. So
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
No, and
Anyways,
I'm trying to remember that whole thing then too, because it's like, what was it? That's when like what was it? When the Greyjoys took over Winterfell,
yes,
right?
yes, that's
And
exactly
then
what happened.
and that's when the Ramsays retook Winterfell, but
Yep.
then they basically claimed it as their own, or like at least what was it? Yeah, yeah, I kind of remember that, and I don't remember like I don't know, dude. There was so much going on in that whole book. Like in that book, in that
Man.
TV series, there's so much stuff happening at the same time where it's like
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for those last 2 books to come out. I'm still not not very happy that we're waiting on these 2 books. And meanwhile, like the author is like just pumping out other works and editing other works. And it's like I just want to know who ends up on the Iron Throne in this series. Like, and I don't know.
Yep.
And I'm guessing that it's not going to be the same though. I'm guessing that the book and the TV series are going to be different, you know?
You think so?
Like
Well, I think that they
I
would. Yeah, to me, it seems logical that they would almost have to be right. Like,
I
because isn't the TV series going to be completed before the book that last book is even published?
Oh yeah, man. We're still waiting on 2 books to be even published, man.
That's
There's
that's
one.
kind of what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah, because it's so. What was it? The TV series was like 8 seasons, I think, right?
it's
And
well,
then
this will be the upcoming one will be the eighth.
okay, so that's the eighth and final. Whereas like the book series was supposed to be a 7 book series, and only
Mm-hmm.
5 of them are out now. And it's
Mm-hmm.
probably been like I don't know 5 or 6 years since the last book, I think maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know. Like seriously, like can't just like push these books out. But it's kind of funny because I was reading or I was like had saw that there was like an interview like the author like George R. R. Martin for the A Song of Ice and Fire, I think it is, like basically like the Game of
Mm-hmm.
Thrones author. He was
Mm-hmm.
interviewing Stephen King, and his like one of uh, Martin's questions to Stephen King was like, how do you do it? It's like you're sitting here publishing like book after book, and he's like, and I'm here struggling with, it's kind of funny because it's like the first book came out, and then it was like a year later the next book came out. Well, the next book took like 3 years, and then the next one took like another like 4 or something years. Like they just got longer and longer between books. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
like here Stephen King just, I don't know, I probably exaggerating, but I'm expecting like, what 20 titles to come out this year of his. So, but Stephen King was even saying he's like I basically write like I think it was like a page a day or something like that, or like so many pages a day. And I was like, I don't know, just wish that Martin would adopt that method, just so that we could get this done with, so then I can close that chapter of my life with the Game of Thrones and just move on to the next book series, which will frustrate me to no end. So,
Yeah, man. It's funny that when you were talking about the Greyjoys taking over Winterfell, just the immediate reaction that I got inside, like how it just completely infuriates me. So, I think maybe it's going to be a good idea to possibly have a podcast episode dedicated to Game of Thrones. Maybe see if anybody wants to come on and discuss Game of Thrones as well too. Holler at us.
no, I'm all for that. Yeah, like, and again, it's like doesn't even have to be book and TV. It's like it could just be TV, because even though I haven't watched the series, I've still read what happened in like every episode of it. So it's like I'm current, but I haven't watched it. But I've read
Mm-hmm.
that, what happened. So this last season though, I might have to tune into it just to kind of get it out of the way. And I don't know if we'd want to do like, I don't know, like the Game of Thrones episodes. Like, I don't know if we'd want to do one like in the beginning of the season, like before the season, or like middle of the season, or end of the, like where we'd want to space it out. But I'm sure we'll end up talking about it sporadically throughout the time too. So.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. We probably will. For sure.
Cool. But
well,
all right. Final thoughts. I don't know. Thank everyone, man. Thank you guys for listening. We on this on this day, we have actually hit the most listeners that we've had in a single day, and really, I can't thank everyone enough for the interest and kind of checking it out. And yeah, I hope there's many more listens to come from you guys. Bob, any thoughts?
yeah. So just exactly like what Vince had said. Everything has been amazing. The support has been just awesome. We once again, we appreciate everybody tuning in and listening. If you have something you want to discuss, if you want to come on the podcast, definitely check us out. Comment us. You can reach us at beyondthecubepodcast.com. We are on a bunch of different social channels. Vince, you know what they are?
Oh man, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Basically, just searching for Beyond the Cube or Beyond the Cube podcast on any of those. Basically through everything. I don't know. It's such a laundry list. Like we'll have to just go ahead and just start throwing links out. But I mean, really, the best spot is to find us is really at beyondthecubepodcast.com. Go ahead and check that out, and you can kind of find your way to everything that you need from there. And what was it? In addition to that, too, man, I just had a thought, but I totally forgot what it was. My bad.
Well, if you remember, tweet it out, either post it on Facebook, either or. I'm sure we'll probably touch upon it maybe on the next episode. But once again, we appreciate you listening, and look forward to the next episode talking Oak Island stuff with Chipper. So it's going to be great.
See you guys.
Cannot wait to hear that outro music. Greg, go ahead and get out of here so we can hear Josiah.
Yep, later.
Yeah.
Okay, ready. What a time to be alive. I'm not kidding. It's the best in A15. Well, she says she don't like Beyond the Cube. I said I don't know what to do with you. I think about love when I'm thinking of the silly state of mind. And the cube don't stop for no man, no sir, no plan. Straight talk for an hour. Speak of the power of the people. Listen to the